Good morning. So this morning there's a couple of different things that I want to talk about, a couple of different things that have come into me into focus. Um, there's a pattern that I'm noticing on the spiritual awakening as we're awakening. There's a pattern that I've noticed is that there is a time where you're out and you're experiencing and you are allowing life to flow through you and you're getting all sorts of input. And then when you start receiving a lesson, you start going inward and you start coming into yourself, and then you want to close out the outside world and you start going inward to kind of let the lesson sit with you. And something that I've realized on the spiritual journey is that the next lesson that we are getting, and of course there's many different playing fields all at once that are going on. So there could be lessons that we're getting in our sexuality, lessons that we're getting in our communication, lessons that we're getting in our work or our abundance, lessons that we're getting in our self-work. There's a self-worth. Like there's so many different aspects to it, and that's just and inside of each of those there's like it's like a branch with so many different limbs on it or leaves on it. And so we are constantly expanding. And what I've realized is that sometimes, like in order to get these lessons, the lessons are always there. They're always all around you. They're within every interaction with people. Sometimes we feel like we want to go and meet people to generate stimulation in our life, to get these mirrors, to get these external mirrors. Every meeting that we have with somebody is waking something up within us. It's showing us aspects of ourselves, or at least an opportunity for us to grow. To see things. So every time that we leave the house and go to town or go anywhere, we are touching the world around us. We are getting stimulation. We are stimulating ourselves, and our lessons are all around us all the time. Wherever the next step is that we are able to receive, that lesson is going to be in every single thing that we touch in our life, because life works in patterns. So regardless of whatever the lesson is that you're ready to achieve, there's nothing that you have to do. It's going to be around you in everything. It's going to be around you in the plant. It's going to be around you in the people. It's going to be around you in the animals. It's going to be around you in the ants. It's going to be around you everywhere. And sometimes we feel like we're overstimulated. We get all sorts of lessons, and like a bombardment comes in of all of this knowledge, of all of these downloads, and then we want to close off from the outer world and we kind of go inwards. And those are times I also feel like I have nothing to say. I'm kind of in the middle of that right now. Like every morning I get up and I don't really feel like there's something. Like even this morning I got up and I felt like there's nothing that I really have to say. But then as the morning started progressing, all of a sudden a few different points came up with that. And one thing that I'm learning with this is that as the points come up, to take action on them, because as they come up, they're coming out by nature. They are wanting to be expressed. It's the perfect time to express it. A lot of times I'll have an idea and I'll write it down, and then later when I come back to it, it doesn't feel like it's coming up naturally, and then I feel like, there's never missed opportunity, right? But there is a certain amount of time that we have in our life. So opportunities aren't missed. They'll come up again and again and again. But the question is how long we want to postpone our opportunities, or how long we want to, if I can get a lesson today, I'd rather get it today than to get it in 2 weeks. And along with that goes the thought that when we are ready for expansion, we want expansion in our life. It's just where I am. It's just so beautiful. It's pulling my eyes. I'm going to show you. So I hiked over here, down that way over there. I found a place of shade under this tree. And on the other side of the tree is my big dog. I buried my big dog about a year ago. So it's a place I come to. Down there is the Sea of Galilee. It's kind of against the sun, so you can't really see it. But going this way, down in the valley, there are Bedouins that live, which Bedouins have been here far, they've been here generations and generations, and that is their land down there with the olive trees and overlooking this mountainside down there in the valley where those big trees are. There are old ruins. I've been there before. I did videos from there before. So I just found a place here in the shade to sit and talk a little bit. It took me probably about 20 minutes to walk here from my house. I have my first cup of coffee or jar of coffee with a sock, keep it warm. So really when we are on this spiritual awakening, the next step is going to come. We don't have to be looking for it. Actually, when we're looking for it, we are, when we are looking, what is my next step? What is my next step? And we're trying to form our next step, a lot of times that will stop the next step from coming, because what is coming to you will come to you naturally. But what you can do to accelerate the spiritual awakening is go out and get stimulation. So if you feel like you're at a point where you're ready to get the next step, or you're ready for more lessons, or you're ready to go further, then you can go out and get stimulation. Because the more stimulation that you have, the more you're stimulated, the more will come into your life. The richer your life is. The more people you meet, the more lessons you get. It's obvious. The more conversations that you have with people, the more action that you bring into your life, the more stimulation that you bring into your life. So it's just an obvious thing. So when you're ready to accelerate your spiritual awakening, and you feel like you've come to a place where it's kind of slowed, then you can go out and you can get more stimulation. You can do a course, go and learn something. Meetings with people that are meaningful. Introduce new people into your life and new thoughts into your life. Another thought that I was having this morning is about our focus. And I know I talk about this a lot because it's so true, and it's so it's such a strong tool, that wherever we put our focus is what expands in our life. Wherever we have our focus is what is expanding. And we can use our focus to expand our life in the direction that we want. We can take our focus and put it in a certain area of our life, even if at first it feels like we're forcing it. But let's say right now in my work, for instance, in my income, I want to generate there some movement and more income. And so I'm taking my focus purposefully, also taking it away from the twin flame journey and bringing it back into myself. That means that I'm speaking about it less. And actually this week, it's really funny, because the less I have my focus on it, the more, this week we spent 3 evenings together on Saturday, Monday, and yesterday was Tuesday. And it's really funny, because our meetings, the meetings that are between us, happen spontaneously. We didn't contact or set up meeting or anything like that, and we've just met spontaneously at different places that we go, and have spent the evening together. Yesterday we made a fire and we cooked over the fire, and it was really nice. I can feel him, his presence within me. It's almost like I can feel things that he's doing. I can feel what he's up to. It's like he is present in my life. It's really strange. It's sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, and kind of it feels like it's a little bit overwhelming, and it feels like like I don't have privacy or something like that. But and on the other hand, there is a side that feels like I'm so blessed and you know, this is such a unique experience. And I remember even as a little girl, like I wanted telepathy and it was connected, felt connection to these mystical worlds, but I didn't understand anything about it. And it kind of is almost like, whoa, this is what it feels like to have telepathy with somebody and to have that interconnection. It almost feels like I can feel his energy all the time. But I want to bring my focus away from there and I'm bringing my focus back to me and my spiritual awakening, because that is really what this twin flame journey is about. See, I'm getting off track, but it's important that it's all it really is about my self journey and my self awakening, and it is like this tool for my self awakening. But what I really wanted to talk about was my focus. And have you ever noticed that the things in your life that are out of sync, things that you are frustrated with, or things that aren't going well, are the places that you put most of your focus and most of your energy and most of your time, and the things that just flow through your life and just naturally fall into place? You really don't do it with any kind of effort. You don't think about it. You don't, you know, it doesn't take anything from you. It just kind of naturally falls into place. And when you think about it, it's kind of funny, because the things that are going the least for you is where you're putting most of your time and your effort and your thoughts, and you're focusing on why isn't this going? How can I do it different? What is that? And then when you just let it go, it seems to take its natural course and flow into sync. See, I was for a lot of years, I was really overweight. I was very heavy. I weighed twice as much, a little over twice as much as I weigh now. And I was always, my thoughts were always on that. I was always dealing with that. I was always digging in it. I was always either on a diet or not on a diet, or everything. It seems like everything that was in my life had that in the background, and it was always gnawing at me. And since I've lost the weight and my whole life has changed in these past 10 years, and my focus has completely gone into other places in my life, it's not something that I think about. It's not something that I think more about health, or okay, I want to eat more fresh food, or I think about, I've come into a vegan diet, so so I think more about like the food that I want to grow my own food, or eating food that was grown in this land. It's become more of like a game, or more of like I'm not focused on, oh, I'm going to be fat, because when you're focused on, oh, I'm fat, then you continue that. It's more like I'm focused on my health and focused on natural foods and good things to bring in. And I don't in any way inhibit myself. I don't think, oh, I can't have a piece of cake, or it's that naturally. I think that also naturally, as you're going through the spiritual awakening, things that aren't in sync with your well-being fall out. So it's kind of like the foods that aren't healthy for me. I still eat chips, and I still eat, some things that, some processed foods, but I'm getting further and further away from it. And as I get further and further away from it, things with food coloring, it automatically, it just kind of, it doesn't draw you anymore, or it kind of even, you don't want that in your body, because your body is sacred. It's your vessel. It's what is allowing you to have this cool life experience. You cherish your body. It's not in a way of, oh, punishment, now I can't have that. It's more in a way of, oh, I love my body. I want to take care of my body. Look at this cool being that I get to be. And so really, when you can harness your focus, you can take your focus, even if feels like fake it till you make it in the beginning, and you can put it into a new way of thinking. So every time that you have a thought that comes up that is you can reprogram your mind through your focus, and you can take charge of your focus. So let's say if thoughts come up, and I'm just using the weight thing as an example because it was something that I went through. So you can take your focus also with the drinking, or with like breaking habits or breaking addictions. Every time the addiction comes up, it's what's going on now with the twin flame journey. You see, I was just talking about the twin flame journey, and then I took my focus back and I put it somewhere else. And as you do it, in the beginning, it feels like mind bending. You have to bend your mind to be able to do it. But after a while, it's just like you take your focus and put it there. You take your focus and you put it there. And after a while, you get used to it. It's like you train your mind into thinking the certain thoughts that you want. Or like now I'm working on my site and I'm working on the computer a lot. And I've been procrastinating around this site for months. Literally months. And I'm really procrastinating because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't know what I want to be in there. And I didn't know. And so now when I've just decided, first of all, I'm using my words and I'm using my focus. I'm using my words every morning. I get up and say, and I have like mantras. I get up and I thank. I look for all the things that I have in my life to be thankful for. I do affirmations of, that I am successful, I am vibrant, I am inspired, I am inspiring. I say all of these wonderful things about myself to bring them into my focus, even if it's fake it till you make it. And every morning I say, today I'm building my site, and my site is coming along nicely. And it is. And when that is in my focus, it has to expand. And I keep bringing my thoughts back to it and keep bringing my thoughts back to it. And even if it's baby steps, even if like yesterday I sat down and I wrote out my vision and my mission and started writing my, about me. And I think that was really the most of what I did all day on my site. But I felt accomplished at the end of the day. I felt accomplished because that was something that was sitting on me. It was something that, so each of them is just a paragraph, but it's done. It's something that I feel accomplished about. And accomplishment feeds accomplishment. When you start feeling that taste of accomplishment, you start wanting to feel it more and more, and it starts coming up in your life more and more. And it also is allowing me to take my focus and put it into something that is productive for me, something that is going to take me another step. And ever since I started building my site, all of a sudden I'm having all these ideas of things that I want to do. I've wanted to make organites for a while. This isn't organite. This is what my twin makes. And it's beautiful. It's a piece of, first of all, it's a piece of art, but it's also see, it has a spiral that goes in both directions, both in and out, and it's one piece. And it has in it different metals and different materials and different stones. And it is based on the work of, I think his name is Dr. Reich, who realized the power of organites. You can look it up online. But I also want to do a study on it because it's something that interests me. And also I'm an artist. And you see, this is also the sign of Mercury. There's so much in this. There's the seed of life. There's the Magen David. It's a powerful sign. And there is, and my twin made this, and there is, when you make something, you embed, and especially since it's in this crystallized epoxy. And, epoxy is also a natural, it comes from nature. So I know it's kind of like a it's like a crystallization. So however it was made, the energy that it was made with was put into it. And the music, yeah, I know that when he makes them, he puts on, he listens to shamanic music, and he really puts his spirit into it, and it's crystallized in it, and I can feel the power in it. I can feel the difference of when I wear it and when I don't. It calms you. It feels almost like a portal. So I really want to learn more about it, and I want to create my own. I also want to create my own templates for them, like the tafniyot, just like molds. I want to make my own molds because I sculpt also in wax, and I know the process of mold making. So that's something that I've been wanting to do. And so all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, I'm building my site. I have a platform that I can make them, and I can present all of my artwork there. And it also is like bringing my artwork back alive. Also, I've been so long on this twin flame journey, like the past year and a half or so. It's like the only place that my head was. And I feel really, because it takes you over. It takes over like your whole being. And I'm really enjoying this, taking my focus back to myself, and feeling excited about doing something. All of a sudden I'm building this site, which at first was just like, oh, I have to sit down and build my site. But now I'm getting excited about it because I'm realizing it's a platform that I not only can I sell my products through, but it's a platform for me to present myself and represent myself. And I'm getting excited about it. Was another thing. What you believe to be true is true for you. So whatever you believe, it doesn't matter what the whole outside world thinks. What is true for you is true in your existence, in your universe. Each one of us is our own universe, and whatever we believe to be true is true for us. And you can make things true. You can for instance, how do I really bring this home? Because this is a really, really, really important point. I'm going to pause this for a second, and I'm going to go deep and think about it for a minute, and then I'll come back. Okay, so it comes back to the focus thing, how you can program your mind with your focus. But let's say things that you believe about yourself become true for you in your own existence. So if I believe in myself that I am worthy of all of the abundance, and I do, that I am worthy of all of the abundance, and that all of the abundance comes from the universe and flows through me and comes to me naturally, and I believe this, then it is true for me. And not only is it true for me, I make it to be true for me. Because if I believe in the abundance of the universe, and that the abundance is coming to me, and that I'm worthy of it, it's kind of like a paradox, because it works both ways. Not only do I believe it, but by believing it, it comes to be true. Because all of a sudden, when I believe that all good things are coming to me through the universe, when I'm going out into the world, there is an underlying expectation of abundance coming to me. If I believe that, and I do, I believe that people are drawn to me and that like me. And I haven't always believed that. That was something that I came to realize, and the more that I realized it, the more it became true. I go to the supermarket, or I go to the marketplace in Tiberias, and I smile at people, and they smile back. And when you are a bright light, and you shine yourself outwardly, people are drawn to that. They're drawn to that because they want to be that as well, but they're also interested. How are you? How do you live your life? It's pleasant. It's nice to be around. It draws people to it. So as I began to believe that, I began to realize the trueness of it, and I began to create that reality within my life. So whatever you believe to be true, you begin to create because you're expecting it. If you believe that the whole world is screwing you over, you go into the marketplace with this oh, everybody's screwing me over. You start generating that. You come in with this expectation. Whatever you expect of other people, they will rise to your expectations. So if you're expecting somebody to treat you nicely, and that is what you expect of them, or you expect them to be a beautiful soul, they're not going to want to let you down. They're going to rise up to that expectation. And it's that way also with your children. If you expect your children to be these, you tell your children how wonderful they are, and you expect of them wonderful things, they typically, I'm not talking about putting, pressure on your children. I'm talking about a real live expectation that you see the wonderful being that your child is. They want to rise into that. They don't want to break that perspective that you have of them. And it's that way with all the people that you meet. And so it's kind of like whatever you really believe to be true becomes true for you in your reality. And if you believe that you are worthy of a certain way of life, it can't be different in your life because it just falls out of place. It's not in sync with who you believe that you are. And you can form beliefs about yourself through your focus and through affirmations. It means you can program your mind to believe what you want. You can program your mind to believe that the world is a place of only abundance. And if you look around you, look, it is. There is no minus in the world. There is no deficit. There only is. There only is things. Things are. They're either in existence or there is no deficit. There is no minus a tree. There's either a tree or it's not there, but there is no minus. There is no deficit. There is no owing. That is a man-made concept, and that's getting into, again, into living in paradise, that we live in paradise and that we don't know it. The matrix has come to control us. Man has come to control man instead of just living with nature and in nature like the chimpanzees. There is no rent. There is no, have to pay somebody else so that they can, there just is. And that is coming back into paradise on earth. And in order to come back into paradise on earth, there is a shifting point, and the shifting point is happening now as more and more people are breaking loose from the matrix, because the matrix has come so out of whack with our human nature that so many people are not able to keep up with it, or not able to live in it, because it's so out of nature with who we are and what we truly are. We're coming back, we're waking up, we're coming out of the illusion, and we're escaping the matrix, and there's more and more of us with the spiritual awakening. Now's the time. Everything is polarizing. The old way, the old world, the old way of thinking is still trying to hold on and clutching, and that's why there's so many wars now, and it's almost like the old world is getting desperate to hold on. And, there's so much more breaking down in the system, where people are feeling pressure of not being able to make a living. And it seems like the whole old world is kind of shattering, and the new world is being born from underneath, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of interacting with the world. So I'm going to go ahead and sum this up here. I think I've kind of gone all over the place with this video, but these are just my morning thoughts, everything that's coming to you today. I'm working on my site, and it is coming along nicely. So thank you for watching.